Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Hello and welcome to a special Between Takes episode of Missing Frames. I am your host, Shawn Eastridge. Normally on Missing Frames, we watch all the movies we should have seen by this point in our lives, but the Between Takes episodes allow us to kind of go outside of the concept. We do filmmaker interviews, festival coverage, and franchise watches with the Franchyze Boiz, and that is exactly what we are here to do today. And we are continuing our 70th anniversary Godzilla celebration, and I am so thrilled to welcome my Franchyze Boiz. We've got Brad Gullickson over here. Welcome, Brad.
Hi, I gotta say, it's really weird that we're recording already because normally, like before you hit record and start doing the episode, we have a little bit more time to banter and loosen up. And I feel like I haven't loosened up at all, but we're doing it. Let's go.
You have to do it. You have to dive in. And in the other corner, we have Aaron Prescott. Welcome, Aaron.
Hi, Shawn.
See, he needed to loosen up too. Listen to him. He sounds
Aaron's
like a dunce.
This is loose and colorful.
I feel a little defeated. I honestly do.
Why is that?
I just in this time off since the last time we've recorded, I've been doing some watching, I've been doing some reading, I've been also doing some listening, and specifically I've been doing some listening of some Missing Frames podcasts. And in that time, I have been called some sort of like elitist cinephile scum.
That doesn't
from my own air quote friend Shawn.
That doesn't sound like anything.
Oh no! Do we need to talk about Alien 3 here on the Godzilla podcast?
Hold on. Was there Alien 3 slander?
There was Alien 3 slander.
Let me crack this open.
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
Put the soundboard away.
I don't know anything about any of this. It sounds like hogwash to me, mister.
Well,
and I would not encourage anyone to go listen to the Aliens episode that I did with my friend TC, in which I may or may not have made such slanderous comments that sound again outlandish. Never in my life. Or you could go listen to the Franchyze Boiz episode in which we cover.
Did we do that franchise?
We did.
Believe
it. And it's funny. Alien Romulus is out technically today, tomorrow.
Saw it last night.
You saw it last night. What? Give us a sound effect that demonstrates how you feel.
It's I don't have a sound effect.
I thought you were just going to go
because I was like building up my Letterboxd review for you, and then you're like a sound effect, and the sound effect is this. Hold on.
Three words.
Here's the sound effect. Alien Covenant's better.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Wow. All right. Well,
I liked Alien Covenant.
I mean, you will hear this episode during the opening weekend of Alien Romulus. You can decide whether or not that is actually the case. But
how much do you love The Force Awakens? A bunch?
Look, despite what Brad thinks, we have done the Alien franchise, so maybe we'll come back around and do Alien Romulus just to round things out. But for now, we are still in the midst of celebrating Godzilla, and it will never end. This is the only franchise we've done in the year of our Lord and Savior, Godzilla 2024. I just want to point that out. Since the start of this year, the Franchyze Boiz have just been doing Godzilla, which I'm not surprised by. I mean, I knew this was probably what was going to happen, but I think it's been worth it so far. And the Showa era, as we've discussed already, is a delight. It's fun, even when the movies are not up to par with what you would want them to be. It's still a lot of fun. And we're moving on.
I don't have access
era.
to your numbers, your downloads, your subscribers, but I am very curious to know. You don't have to give me specifics, but like, are the listens going up or are they going down? That's
look, Franchyze Boiz are consistently ignored in my numbers. That's actually not true. These episodes do really well. These are typically in the year-end stats. These are usually in top 3, top 4. One of these is going to be here, and it could very well be this Heisei era episode.
Okay. All right. I bet
Brad
it
was about
depends
to
on the franchise.
Brad with Comic Book Couples Counseling podcast, Brad and Lisa are taking off to the stratosphere. He does
like
not.
we're number one
He
or we're
does
nothing.
not have
If
time.
you ain't first, you're
He does-
last.
He
right.
does not have the time to watch 7 Godzilla movies, half
I
of
watched
which
all of
may
these.
be
How
mediocre.
dare you? Don't you come at me already.
I was telling a friend of mine, explaining to her like what this was and what we were doing, and I told her, when I watched Godzilla versus Destoroyah. I told her I watched that, and she's like, "Oh, so you're finally done?" And I'm like, "Oh, with this era." But let me tell you what, there are maybe 20 more films to watch, if not more than that. So no, I'm not. We are not anywhere near to done, but we are going to get there by the end of 2024. That is my solemn vow to
I don't believe that at all.
To the listeners who I swear love the Franchyze Boiz episodes so much.
It's the 40th anniversary of Ninja Turtles. We could be talking about Turtles in Time right now.
We could be, and I am going through like a Ninja Turtles thing, like obsession right now. It would be perfect. But you know what, Brad? We're not going to let you sideswipe this and take us off track. We already did Alien. We're going to do Ninja Turtles someday, but we are here to say it up. So let's say it up. Let's start with the Return of Godzilla, 1984, but then also confusingly in America known as Godzilla 1985, because it was released the following year. But this is a whole decade Godzilla has been slumbering. The franchise went to bed with, what was it? Was it Terror of Mechagodzilla?
Correct.
That's it. Okay. So that kind of put the franchise to rest for a bit. And it was a significant bit of time for a popular franchise. I know that one I don't think was very popular. I think it was
it did terrible. I think there's a 9-year difference between the two movies.
I think you're right. It was a long time, and they decided, you know what, we're going to kind of go back. We're going to do a back to basics approach. We're going to have Godzilla once again not be the kind of cartoony superhero kid-friendly version that everyone had gotten used to and tired of. We're going back to the gritty, the angry, villainous Godzilla, and we're ringing in a whole new era of Godzilla, starting with that. Even though technically the Heisei era of Japan didn't start until Biollante, this is considered the first of the Heisei era because it's the reboot. It is kind of kicking things off. So Aaron, we'll start with you. Do you have any fond memories of watching this movie, or how do you feel in general about the Return of Godzilla / 1985?
Well, I guess I'll throw it back to you as well. Like which, and maybe to both you guys, which one did you watch? Did you go with Return or Godzilla 85? And does one work better for you? Have you not seen another one? Like, where do you guys lie with the Americanized version versus the Japanese version?
I mean, the American version is the one I saw originally, and my nostalgia is attached to that one.
Right. Yeah, I saw that one first, and I barely remember what the American version was, but I do remember seeing it and being terrified of the opening scene where the guy goes onto the ship and there's like floating jellyfish monsters and dead crew members. I remember being like, this is too much for me. I'm 9. I can't watch this.
Yeah.
But in all my Godzilla watches since, I've stuck primarily to the Japanese versions.
Yeah.
Just because I think, and there's a whole, there is a whole story and tale that is involving English dubs of Godzilla, and just how they kind of for years and years were just a running gag, to the point where people were like, oh, Godzilla movies are actual jokes, like they aren't real movies. So,
yeah, well,
and we're Criterion owners, so of course we go with the original subtitled version.
That is true. And do we need to put the word out to Criterion to not let us down and put out a Heisei master complete
absolutely, they need
collection
to.
of this, like they did.
They've
with,
already put
with
it on the
Showa.
They've put it on the Criterion channel. It's not all of them, but it does
Correct.
have
Correct. But I
Biollante
need the physical. I want that big giant book like the Showa era.
It's
One,
happening.
that
It's going to
beautiful-
happen.
It better.
We're going to
Yeah.
manifest that right
I,
now.
I, think
And
I think this podcast is going to put them over
It
the edge.
better include the Roland Emmerich film.
But that's not Heisei.
That's not Heisei. You get out of here.
No, but the whole box set. I imagine that the next box set will have Heisei through Godzilla -1, and I want Godzilla Matthew Broderick in there.
I want the 4-disc, like we're getting the 4-disc 4K of -1. I want the Japanese to release a 4-disc version of Godzilla Roland Emmerich with only interviews from Japanese filmmakers and Godzilla original
Scholars.
Godzilla creators.
Scholars.
Yes, scholars. I want the feedback from Japan on Roland Emmerich Godzilla. We're gonna get to Roland Emmerich Godzilla, not in this episode. We're going to get there eventually.
Is that its own era?
That's, I mean,
One and
it
done.
kind of is. It kind of is. I think it'll probably be an American
We'll probably just put with Legendary.
Godzilla era, but it is in a category of its own. But Aaron, so Return of Godzilla, did you see it when you were younger? Did you have to wait until you were older to get access to it?
I honestly can't remember where 85 came into the loop because I did watch like Biollante and King Ghidorah. Those were like two like ones that I watched so many times growing up, and so I know I've seen Return at some point, but I don't really recall where. It all just kind of like melded into one big. Oh, I'm watching Godzilla, and that's all I really needed. But it was interesting because on this round of rewatches, I actually watched both. I watched 85 and Return.
Oh,
And,
wow.
Okay.
Yeah, and well, what I found interesting was I kind of have I can't remember what we really talked about when we did the Showa era because it was like I felt like that was 8 years ago that we talked about it. But there's I have this disdain for the King of the Monsters because it was such like a watered down
the American remake of the original.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and
not
and so
Godzilla himself, not the King of the Monsters himself.
No. The King is king, but no, the King of the Monsters, the Americanized version that had Raymond Burr in it.
Right.
That one always, it felt wrong. It felt like trying to take a step back and like saying, "Oh, it wasn't, not our fault. That we didn't have anything to do with that." And so there was always something that kind of that irked me about it. And Godzilla 1985 had the same feeling, and that connective tissue was Raymond Burr. And so I was like,
that's
I
right.
remember,
I forgot he comes back for the
Yeah.
1985, the American version of this movie.
yeah. And when you watch it, like, it's pretty much the same story cut all the way through, but they have these intercut scenes, not just with Raymond Burr. They have other like American, a couple of American characters. Cause the whole story is kind of like this political, Japan caught in the middle between the two superpowers, between Russia and United States, and being these two superpowers that are just like, let's just nuke it. And they're like, and Japan knowing that they're caught in the middle of this, and they're the only ones that truly understand what that means and the ramifications of that. And
it's also that is baked into Godzilla, the
that
character.
it is the essence of why this is even a thing, of why it's even a discussion. And so so there's that story aspect of it. But the thing about the insert shots from I think it's R.J. Kaiser, the director of the American parts of 85. He's the director of Hell Comes to Frogtown. The great Roddy Piper classic. And so it has these like completely like just immature, just like comedic elements that, and like we said, this Return of Godzilla, it's taking a much darker tone. It's taking a more aggressive, more seedy, more realistic tone as with, to kind of stick with that original movie. And the American parts just completely take it out of it. The one thing that really pulled me in that I was shocked about this time was Raymond Burr. The one thing that I did not like about the first one, because he personified the Americanization of the original King of the Monsters. But in this movie, there is one person that is giving it his all, that is almost acting like it's Shakespearean, that is taking it completely serious, and that's Raymond Burr. You should like the like final scene. He has like this kind of monologue that goes over some of the other footage, and it's really kind of great. And I just wanted to say that about it, is that Raymond Burr, who once took me out of the original Americanization, completely kept me in on this one. It's still not a great movie because of how silly the Americanized version is, but Raymond Burr is elite level Shakespearean style acting that we need in these Godzilla films.
Yeah, I feel like that's an element that might at least make it worth watching more so than maybe King of the Monsters is.
Yeah.
But Brett, how do you feel about Return of Godzilla?
Well, if I can heisei anything, I would say that the movie going back to a darker tone, trying to follow in the footsteps of the original Godzilla, is admirable, and I understand why we needed a reboot in that way here. At the same time, in hindsight, it's not necessarily what I want Godzilla to be in 1984. So I liked Godzilla 85 as a kid, but watching Return of Godzilla today, it just felt like a wannabe original Godzilla.
That's exactly how I feel about it. It's middling is the word I choose to describe it. And what makes it more disappointing is that it is, okay, 10 years after, this had better be, you expect, and we are trained now that, like, well, we're kind of trained to feel the opposite, but there was a period of time where if you were going to reboot something, it had better be great. Like Batman Begins is great. Casino Royale is great. Star Trek 09 is great. So there is this feeling of, in 84, you're like, oh, the Return of Godzilla. They waited 10 years. That's 10 years to come up with, like, who knows how many great ideas. It's going to feel fresh and exciting, and it's going to look great because it's in the 80s versus the 60s, 70s. And then it's just sort of like, oh, I love the design of Godzilla. I like Godzilla being, the angry villain again. But other than that, there's not much about it that stands out. It's not like the rousing return of this character. It's more like, oh, okay, well, it's another Godzilla movie with nothing about it that stands out. The human characters are bland, and it's just it's disappointing in that regard.
I think other than like seeing Godzilla up to like some big giant miniatures, some bigatures. There's not much interesting things going on in like the final battle and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and it kind of reminded me a bit of, and I don't want to disparage it reminded me of Shin Godzilla in the way that like it's the political kind of like a lot of talking and discussion of the right thing to do and the kind of bureaucratic side.
Well, I think what makes this movie interesting is if you put it in the context of 3 Mile Island having just happened, right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
It is very much like Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
The threat of nuclear power is at the forefront of the audience's imagination again. And that's what's interesting about the Return of Godzilla. Unfortunately,
it's not weird enough.
It just, and not interesting enough, right? Like, it's just not interesting enough.
And that's also like, it's a portion of the film. For the most part, we're following this reporter, this guy who was in the ship that got shipwrecked, and his sister. And for a little while, it's interesting. There's kind of like, oh, there's a cover up. The government doesn't want anyone to know that Godzilla's back. That stuff leading up to Godzilla, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. But weirdly enough, and this is honestly a symptom, I think, of the series in general, the better Godzilla movies overcome this by being exciting and interesting. But I think a lot of the Godzilla movies that are less successful are the ones that sort of like, by the time Godzilla shows up and by the time you get to the third act, the humans are just kind of, all right, we're just going to watch. We're just here to say things like, oh, Godzilla really throws a punch, and like, wow, he looks like he's getting hurt, and like things like that. And Return of Godzilla is no exception, but also we're like suffering through like having to spend a lot of time with these characters as they like try to escape a building that's falling apart. They're just in this
Mhm.
building for what feels like days and days.
Yeah.
And the middle section where they have like this round table with all the different governments around the world discussing like, we have to use, I love, by the way, Heisei continues the tradition of just like, talk about the worst American
American
actors
actor.
you can
Every
possibly find.
it's like they're going out of their way to humiliate us and be like, no, these guys don't have a single good actor in here. Like it is baffling.
It's so good. Like the nuclear weapons, and that's the, like you guys are saying, it's the only thing about this movie that's like, oh well, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Bringing that back, and it's, again, it's baked into Godzilla's DNA, but it is kind of like Japan is the one that decides like, no, we're not doing that. You guys don't get to decide whether or not we're doing that. And there's an interesting commentary there that, of course, is just kind of like by the end of the movie, you're like, oh, that's right. Yeah, it would have been more interesting if we'd kind of kept that through the final act. But it is like you said, Brett. It kind of is like, I want this to be like big and epic and like, all right, we're back into it. But it feels like this is going to sound mean. Are you guys ready? Brace yourself. This is going to sound mean. I mean this with all due respect, because I actually really, really love this actor and I really enjoy the film I'm about to state. But let me explain myself. It's a little like The Living Daylights with Timothy Dalton in that we needed James Bond to be Goldeneye. We needed that level of like departure from like, oh, we're taking it into the modern era. And The Living Daylights, the way it's directed and the way it feels, it's kind of like some of it is updated. Timothy Dalton is great, but it does feel still like, all right, we're still kind of in the trend of the Bond formula in a way that doesn't feel super detached from like what we've seen before.
Never Heisei, never again.
Right. Well, there you go. So that's
Brad. Just let you know, I'm keeping a tally of how many Heisei puns you have throughout this thing.
You should prepare yourself.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel. And Living Daylights is a much better. I think Living Daylights is a very good movie, which I would not say about Return of Godzilla. I think it's okay, and it's one, honestly, like, in the grand scheme of Godzilla films, when somebody's like, look, I want to watch Godzilla movies, I really don't want to watch all of them, just give me the best of, like, this would not go on my even like just for fun list. Like, I would be like, you could probably skip
this might be hyperbolic, but like this is my least favorite Godzilla movie so far that we have discussed.
Wow.
That
is not even remotely true.
Well, I don't know if it's my least favorite, but it's definitely like one of the blandest. Like, it doesn't have, it really doesn't have a whole lot
what's
going
the point
for it.
Here? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it does have a great end credits song, which I think I don't know the name of, but it's just them singing "Goodbye Godzilla," like, and it's like, it's not goodbye. He just came back. Like, this is the reboot. This is the start of a whole new era. We're not saying goodbye. We're saying hello to him. But that I think is the highlight of the film for me. Other random thoughts. It is weird that the special effects feel like not super, like, we're in the 80s now, and we have like Raiders and Star Wars and things like that, and to have a Return of Godzilla that's still like, oh yes, and it's always going to be a guy in a suit, but for some reason in Return of Godzilla it just feels particularly cheap. It just feels like, oh, this doesn't look that much more advanced than the effects we were seeing.
But I don't think they were interested in advancing the effects at this point. I think
they're trying to get toned down.
Yeah,
because why even bring out a Godzilla when you're not going to have like a foe for him to go up against? Because you're really just doing, the only one that's really ever done this is the original one, where it's just him coming into a city and just saying, I'm going to walk through this place, and us getting mad at him. Yeah, but I think the one thing I will defend it is that I really did enjoy the kind of political propaganda that it placed in between the two great superpowers. I really liked that aspect of it, and I think being able to focus on that really kind of set it over the edge of like, oh, this is saying something interesting. And now with a Godzilla film, you want to see something interesting. So that was the only thing that, I agree, that completely took me out of it. But I did enjoy that aspect of it.
So how many, I guess, amazing goodbye now Godzilla songs. Do we give this on a scale from 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest? Brad?
I still can't bring myself to be like 1. So I'll go 2.
Aaron, how about you?
I'm going right down the middle of the road. It's a 3-star film.
Okay. I think I would say 2 as well. So moving on to Godzilla versus Biollante. Now, what's crazy about this is half a decade, I think, after. It was 89, right?
Yeah, it's 89. So it's like 6 years.
Yeah, which is crazy.
That's not math.
Yeah, well, it's close enough. It's about as good of math as you're going to get on this show. That was crazy to me that it took them 5 years to then make another one after their grand return. It seemed like nobody was really ready for Godzilla to return, but it was like Return of Godzilla was successful. People wanted more Godzilla, so I don't know. But Biollante,
and I feel like also Godzilla hunger was really starting to build up at this point. I think in the 80s, people were discovering the older Godzilla movies, and a craving was developing.
The video market
Godzilla
was
films.
coming out, so it makes sense that people, especially in America, a lot of these films are becoming available for the first time as English dubs. But like, still, like for us as kids, that's like, who cares? This is great. It's Godzilla. But Biollante was 5 years after Return of Godzilla, and one of the Godzilla movies that falls into the category with like HEISEI, where it's like there is no other Godzilla movie like this. It's very weird. It's somewhat unsettling, and kind of in a league of its own. But before I go too much into revealing my opinion, Brad, we'll start with you this time. How do you feel about Godzilla versus Biollante? When did you first see it?
I have no idea when I first saw it, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But I think you can guess what I think about this film. You mentioned one of my favorite Godzilla movies already. This movie is incredibly weird. It also goes like, you know what? Nuclear energy, that's passe. That's boring. How about biochemistry? Like plants. Ugh, gross. And yeah, I'm down for it. I love Biollante.
Aaron, how do you feel?
This is great. Inject the soul of a dead girl into every bad guy is what I say.
Hell yeah.
It's so much fun, and it's weird, and you have no real clue what's going on. But the thing that's great is you get the social commentary, you get the environmental commentary, and you get this crazy looking, just beautiful monster that, I mean, the guys of Godzilla, especially in the Heisei era, like, are just if there was an Oscar just for putting fog into a shot, they would be getting the Oscar every year, because like it just like sits there and makes everything so moody, and they backlight this creature as if like the sun is just following it the entire time. It's so cool. And just put it on the side of a windowless van. That's all I want to say.
And it ranks number 1 on Greta Thunberg's Godzilla list.
Oh, really?
There we go.
This is her number 1.
I want to know what her top 5 is. I didn't even know she had one.
Yeah, no, she loves Godzilla Rides Again.
That's there amazing. And somehow that doesn't. Did you say Godzilla Rides Again?
Raids Again.
I think I'm starting to feel like I have some level of deja vu that makes me think we made a joke about that's what it should have been called in the Showa era episode.
Yeah.
It feels like that's where that was going, because I do want Godzilla Rides Again versus Godzilla.
Yeah, it's him and Ernest, and they're taking it right down the court to the hoops.
Biollante is one of the best creature designs in this entire franchise.
Yeah, totally.
And again, you never see really, like, maybe Destoroyah, but you don't see anything like Biollante as a creature or a concept in this franchise. It's like, okay, we have the scientist who's haunted by the death of his daughter who was killed by Godzilla, and he imbues this plant, this experiment that he's working on, with his dead daughter's cells, so it becomes like filled with the soul, the spirits of his dead daughter, which is like an idea they don't really they don't develop it quite to fruition outside of just as a talking point. Like they pay it lip service. They're like, yes, my daughter's cells. And then at the end, it's like,
you see her floating head, like,
yes,
oh wait,
her
I forgot about
floating,
that.
her Zordon head floating into outer space. And it would have been really interesting, I think, if we'd homed in a little bit more on this scientist's maybe obsession with Biollante and like obsession with, this is my daughter reborn and she is our defender. That's like me nitpicking. I think Biollante is great. I'm with you guys. I think this is such it gets by solely just alone on being so bizarre. But there's also a lot of ridiculous stuff. I think Hedera might be a little bit more focused, weirdly enough. This one has like a James Bond-esque subplot because the filmmaker, I think the director, was not into Godzilla and was really into James Bond movies. So he's like, I'll do it, but I want a whole subplot where there's like shootouts and like spies and people, like all these like chases and things like that he desperately wanted to put in the movie to make it interesting. But then at the same time, he made this very cerebral, like more thoughtful Godzilla movie, at least certainly more thoughtful than Return of Godzilla and more thoughtful than a lot of the other ones we'd seen.
Do we know why there's such a tonal shift between this one and the last one? Because like Return of Godzilla is supposed to be like, we're going back to, the serious themes of the original. And then now they're like, yeah, we're going to have some environmental stuff in this, but like plant monster,
So apparently there was like, wasn't there like a contest, like a Japanese contest?
It was I think some dentist, like one, he just wrote like a simple script or something, and maybe had some art going into it. But it wasn't there was another Jet Jaguar, wasn't he like an art contest?
I believe so.
Winner or
Yes.
something like that. And so go to the fans. The fans know what we want. I mean, just let us write the scripts, for crying out loud. We know we got it where it counts. So no, I don't really know why the big extreme tonal shift, but I am thankful for it.
Yes, I'm okay with it too. And also I'm reading Little Shop of Horrors because that was around this time. So people were thinking like, oh yeah, let's get a giant plant. The Godzilla franchise is nothing if not like just relentlessly ripping off every other franchise around.
Well, especially this Heisei era, which I think is fascinating. You kind of go to each movie, especially from here on out, and you get a sense that the director just kind of was grabbing onto something, and then like as well as just like putting Godzilla in here, is like, this is what's hot right now, so I'm gonna put I'm gonna sprinkle it with some of this Hollywood magic and see if I can make something really grow.
Exactly.
And then it didn't do well, right?
It didn't. It did not do well at all. And ironically, in later years, I think there was a Japanese poll that named Biollante the best Godzilla movie. I don't remember which poll it was or when it was conducted, but like it is ironic that ended up being the case.
That seems extreme.
Okay, here we go. In July 2014, in a poll reported by the Nihon Eiga Satellite Broadcasting Corporation, Godzilla vs. Biollante was selected as the best Godzilla film by a group of fans and judges in Japan. So it didn't do well. A lot of people think like it was too dark. It was too weird. There weren't any recognizable outside of Godzilla. Like they thought they'd strayed too far into trying something new. It is funny. Like, it's like, that's exactly why I think Biollante works, is it's like, it's new. You haven't seen a Godzilla movie like this. And of course the response to it is like, nobody goes to see it. So their thought is, well, we got to bring back all the villains that people know and love to get them their butts in the seats. They also blamed Back to the Future Part 2. Like they were like, people want to see the time travel movies. They don't want to
which is exactly why it was in the next movie, because the director blamed Back to the Future on its on the it beating out Biollante by so much, and so they're like, he's like, I gotta put time travel in here. I gotta put
they're like, we can't have something this strange. Let's make something way more normal.
Right.
Right. But it is like, I think the things that I wish this movie, I wish this movie was weirder, as crazy as that sounds based on what we're saying about it. And anyone who's seen it knows the movie is pretty weird already. But I do wish it had kind of focused a little bit more on Biollante. I feel like there's a whole chunk of the movie where after Godzilla and Biollante fight, Biollante kind of disappears. And then it's just Godzilla kind of ravishing and doing his thing. And then Biollante comes back at the end to defeat Godzilla. I wish it had been a little bit more focused on maybe like the relationship between Biollante and the scientist dad, who's sort of like the human characters in a lot of these movies, is relegated to spectator, and he just starts commentating like, Godzilla is fighting Biollante. Yes, this is the destruction we've wrought, and Japan, the pain we are suffering, it's brought it on our. It's a lot of that stuff, and I almost wish there was a little bit more of like, how does he feel about this thing that is basically a representation of his daughter? Like he emotionally, he's not super affected by it, feels like. And then he gets shot at the end of the movie. It's sort of, and that leads into another James Bond-esque chase scene where a car flips over and there's a wacky fist fight in the mud. So that's really like you could go weirder with Biollante, but Biollante is also so strange, and like HEISEI, it really falls into that same category of like wholly unique, and you really don't get a lot of those in this franchise. So for that, it gets a lot of love from
another aspect that I liked about it is the introduction of the Miki character, because we kind of get this through line. She doesn't really get to do much in some of the other movies, especially up until like probably SpaceGodzilla is probably like, when she kind of gets to do the most things, and then in Destoroyah she has a really big part. But it was nice to kind of have like this common character who has this more than just a personal connection with Godzilla.
But it is, it's also like, I agree. I'm glad you brought that up, because she plays such a not a big role, but she is like the recurring character slash actor. And
she's the Millie Bobby Brown of the HEISEI era.
Hey,
yes,
come on,
yes. I
give her a little respect.
But it is like, oh, this random psychic character, it is something we've seen, weird outer space stuff and weird stuff in this franchise, but like psychic lady who is tuned in to this giant plant that is the scientist's dead daughter. It's like, oh, this is very strange, and it's interesting and great that they bring her back, even though, like you said, Aaron, she doesn't have much to do for the next couple movies. It's cool that she's there at all. But anything else, Brad? Anything else you want to send off Biollante?
I mean, I think the climax of the film is top tier Godzilla monster kaiju battle stuff. As Aaron said, it's beautifully shot. It's just a crazy, gorgeous looking movie. It is bug nuts, and I'm here for bug nuts.
Well, then how many bug nuts would you give Godzilla versus
I
Biollante?
also agree with you that it's maybe not as streamlined in its bug nutsness, so I will go with 3.5.
Aaron, how about you?
Holding hands called with Brad, 3.5.
3.5 for me as well, right across the board. So Godzilla versus Biollante. Also, like, again, we're talking, it's the opposite of Return of Godzilla in that we're making this short list of Godzilla movies you have to see. Biollante is going on that list 100%. Yeah. All right, so now we are moving into, obviously Biollante was not a success, as we've already discussed, which meant that aside from incorporating time travel as a mandate, because obviously Back to the Future was the reason Godzilla didn't do well, we also need to start incorporating classic villains that people recognize, that will get butts in the seats. So not 5 years, but just a mere 2 years after Biollante, we get Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. And I don't know, Brad, we started with you. We'll just start with you again, Brad.
Okay.
How do you feel about this one?
I love King Ghidorah, so if King Ghidorah is involved, I'm really into it. The Futurians, however you say their name,
Mhm.
I'm not so sure how I feel about those that element.
You don't like the T1000 slash
Ah,
T800
yeah,
mashup?
I like the big swing of this movie. I don't know if it's a swing that I would have taken, but I appreciate it. But most importantly, it's about bringing King Ghidorah back and then going like full mecha King Ghidorah at the
Yes,
end.
yeah.
Like that's like, oh, this is what I'm here for. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. And I do like when aliens show up. I love a good UFO in a Godzilla movie.
It's true, but it is interesting that like it only took what I mean, we have 5 years between Return of Godzilla and Biollante, but it only took 3 movies for them
Yeah,
to go right back to like, okay, crazy sci-fi, goofy,
yeah, and this is where I
absurd.
want to be. Like this is like I know we differ in this regard, but this is the neutral that I like my Godzilla films to be in.
I'm okay with it too. I just think it's funny that in general, the Heisei era is kind of acclaimed as like, oh, it's the darker, like back to
Yeah,
basics. But there is a period in this this era where it is like it's just Showa movies, but updated for the 80s and 90s.
100%.
Aaron, how do you feel about this one?
I love kitchen sink cinema. When you throw anything
Yes,
and
yes,
everything into that
preach.
that one sink, and it's big, it's deep, it holds everything, and you're like, I'm just gonna stir this thing around and see, I'm gonna take a little ladle, I'm gonna taste it. Does it taste like crap? I don't care. It's got everything and everything. It's got dinosaurs, it's got holograms, androids, World War II revisionist history,
Time
jetpacks,
travel,
tank
time travel,
lasers, time travel, Major Spielberg.
Major
Like you,
Spielberg.
this, I intently love this movie. Like, there's so much about this that is so much fun and stupid and great and ripping off of other movies, and it's a work of art.
I sent you, I think back in November, back when we were originally going to start this last November, I sent you the clip because I'd forgotten about the Major Spielberg
Oh yeah.
line. And I think I sent you guys the video, like, can't wait to do this in a couple weeks. And now here we are 8 months, almost a full year later, finally getting around to it. I like King Ghidorah. Like, this is fine. I think what bothers me is what I was saying, which is that Heisei, I want to feel like I'm seeing new stuff like Biollante or Destoroyah, and this feels a little bit too much like, okay, but I've kind of seen this already.
You've
I
never
agree.
seen Godzillasaurus before?
Yeah.
That is
No.
true. Yeah, the time travel, going back to see the origins of Godzilla, is absurd and fun.
I hate it. I hate
I do.
Godzillasaurus.
I love what I do love about that scene though is when the general, like the Godzillasaurus is stomping around. The general is in a cave and he just looks up and he goes, "A dinosaur?" And he leaves. And it's like, what do you mean? Why was that the first thing you thought of? Like, there are bombs exploding. Wouldn't you just be like, oh my God, we're under attack? But like, without seeing it, in the middle of World War II, he just looks up and he goes, "A dinosaur in 1940s Japan," or like it's great. I love it. That's basically to me what this film is in a
But I mean,
nutshell.
it is a dinosaur. Why would you not be like completely flabbergasted? I was a dinosaur kid growing up, and so All right. So, but here's the thing: this is not just a movie. This is a prophecy. Okay, if we're gonna go to that Major Spielberg spiel, so for people who haven't seen it, there's a great scene where
I see what's going to happen
where
here.
the Japanese are getting bombed on the island. There's a dinosaur there, and then it cuts to the U.S. Cruiser or whatever, and the guy comes out and says something to Major Spielberg, and he says, "Hey, I hope your son back home can," with another terrible American actor, by
Yes,
the way. Like,
amazing
just continuing the
performances.
trend of just finding the worst possible people to deliver these lines. But he says, something about his son when he gets back home. He hopes he can tell these stories to his son or something like that. This is so. First off, the director alone is just talking about the amazing art and oeuvre of Steven Spielberg. up until 1991. We are now looking at a dinosaur island where they just bombed the crap out of a dinosaur. I'm sorry, Brad, can you tell me what movie Steven Spielberg puts out 2 years later?
Schindler's List.
The other movie 2 years later.
Jurassic
Park. I'm sorry. Are we talking about time travel in this movie? Because
Brad was waiting that whole time.
I knew he was
to reveal that punchline.
I'm waiting.
And it was
I'm teeing
worth
it up
it.
for him, and I'm just letting him rip. But
never say a word.
And check. Okay.
Or no, I meant to say don't say a word. I messed it up.
I'm taking that one away.
Take the points.
That doesn't count.
Okay. No, that's I there's so many dough rats. Are you kidding me? Like they're cute. They're Pokemon. It's like they turn them into the King Ghidorah. I love the over explanation of everything in this movie, and it's just wonderful.
Yeah, the over explanation that just it makes less and less sense the more it's explained. It's
completely.
like, you know what? Let's just all right, no more explanations. Let's get into it. I mean, there are like
also you're like going back and like, wait, why are we worried about him being a dinosaur when we're talking about him being irradiated like in this era? And you're like, what are we talking about? He could have just been a dinosaur, but yeah,
right, yeah, exactly. So and there are like laser gun battles and they really did throw everything they could possibly think of into this movie. And I mean, I'm not gonna say it works for me, but it certainly is like one of the most of the Godzilla movies. It's got the most of a lot of these movies. What else do I love? The T-1000 ripoff that runs very quickly, and it's
the M11.
Yes, the M11 that they just speed up the frame rate, or I guess they slow it down is technically what they do. But.
Well, he's like running on wires. Looks like he's on like just the world's weirdest treadmill because he's like behind some bushes and like.
It reminds me a lot of Kung Fu Hustle, like the Looney Tunes Kung Fu Hustle sequence. But like with this, it's like that's the best it's the best they can do, and that makes it even better. So I do like that a lot. Again, I think the Godzilla design is great. One thing we forgot to mention about Biollante is Akira Ifukube came back to score it, and he scores this one as well. So I like that. I think I just am thrown by needing this, like just the quick retreat into like standard Godzilla fare for me is what holds this back. I'm like, this is where the Heisei era starts to lose me a little bit, is when we start to retread and it's like, none of these are as interesting as Biollante.
Is it interesting, or is it just not a tone that you jive with? Like, to me, this is just anti-Shawn cinema.
But I enjoy I do typically enjoy this tone. I enjoyed it in Showa, but I am like,
let's roll back the tape on previous Franchyze Boiz episodes.
But I think I do want the Heisei era to be consistently like, look, if we're going to go grounded, angry Godzilla and like the terror of this creature, then this is like, what are we doing here? I've seen this already. I've seen the outer space stuff. I don't know. So yeah, on the one hand, I love that it's ridiculous, but on the other hand, I'm kind of like, I need Godzilla to get with the times here. I need some grounded, weird Biollante stuff more than this. Is that okay, Brad?
No.
Well, what else? Is there anything else that needs to be said about this one? This is the same director as Biollante.
Yeah, Godzillasaurus's sound effect is recycled Gamera sound effects.
Is that right?
Great.
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
Get a little Gamera in our Godzilla.
It is interesting that Biollante, King Ghidorah feels more like, I don't know, it feels more like a standard Godzilla movie. But I guess, if we're talking about he put in all this James Bond stuff in Biollante because he didn't like Godzilla, this is certainly like, what movies are out right now? Terminator and Back to the Future.
I mean, like, we were all that person, right? Like, the first time we saw the T-1000, we're like, well, I'm going to make a movie with a better T-1000. Like, I want the T-1000 in my film. So yeah, M11, let's do it.
Fair enough. Like, this is kind of the story, the Godzilla story I'm playing out in 1991, having seen these movies. Like, how do I fit a time traveling robot that runs really fast into my action figure extravaganza?
And I feel like this film is where the franchise is really shifting into a new era. To me, the previous two films are kind of looking for a new vibe, landing on it and then abandoning it. And so like this feels like the true beginning of the Heisei era for me.
Okay.
I think because it's kind of a conflicting good guy bad guy duality of Godzilla. We're not just fully like having him
Right.
stomp through a city and he's the bad guy, and we have the X2 fighter jet come after him or something like that. There's something more to he's helping us. He's still stomping on things, and there's that kind of push and pull of is he for good? Is he for evil? There's still quite a bit of evil in this one, but there's something is still about saving not necessarily humanity but the Earth, and I dig that.
And Miki's back, as we mentioned. She does return, and
Mhm.
she really is just in this movie as like a callback to the last one, just to kind of continue and be like, yes, this is a sequel to
She like pets a
Biollante.
rat and
that's
bye.
it. She's like, oh, they're cute, and
Yeah.
she doesn't really do anything. Does she even like? I think she does something psychic related, but I do remember thinking for this one and Mothra, like, is she just here? Like, is she gonna actually participate, or is it really just like we want to have her in these movies to have a continuing through line?
Yeah, I don't think they really knew what to do with her
Yeah.
for a while, and it could have been any other character. It didn't have to be Miki for that character. So I agree.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess on a scale from 1 to 5, how many major Spielbergs would you give Godzilla versus King Ghidorah? Brad?
3.5.
Aaron?
This is a solid 4-star major Spielberg.
Wow. I will do 2.5.
Oh goodness.
All right. And now we're on a roll, because like this is like they were not stopping, because we got Godzilla vs. Mothra the next year, 1992. And again, this is kind of just like essentially a remake of Godzilla versus Mothra. There's some new stuff in it. There's like the Indiana Jones stuff at the beginning that is
the
very
evil
quickly.
Mothra.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's evil Mothra. But
Venom
for the
Mothra,
most,
as I like to think of him.
Oh,
Yes,
Battle
yes.
Mothra. Isn't that what the name derives from? Batra?
I think you're probably right,
Oh, I know I'm
Aaron,
right.
the expert on you know these things. I'm gonna just say yes. You
I
were
know
correct.
some of these things. I don't know
We've
my
got-
kids' names.
We've got the Cosmos back, so it pretty much is like a remake of Godzilla versus Mothra, which again is why I am not the biggest fan of it. But
What's
Aaron,
what do you listen?
Aaron,
I think we need to discuss this. What is your issue? You're so okay with Godzilla coming back, but as soon as one of his other friends comes back, you're like, oh, why? Why do they have to be here? Why can't I just have something new?
I'm
Why can't
really
I
starting
get a
to
new toy?
question if Shawn likes Godzilla movies.
I want these things. I just wish it was more like, I'm like, wait, I was excited the first time. If you're going to repeat, like basically have it be like, it's, the first time we're seeing Mothra, it's like, I would like it to be a little bit more.
But at least we're
I don't know.
But at least we're repeating King Ghidorah and Mothra. We're not repeating like Rodan the Dum Dum and
Sure,
some of the
but I
others.
also am like, will I ever watch Godzilla versus Mothra 1992 over 1964? Mothra versus Godzilla?
No, you will not.
Yeah, so that's kind of like, I'm like, why do I need to watch this? Why, the Heisei era, which I think in this rewatch of it, I'd forgotten, I guess, this period of movies within this era, that it's like, oh, these are just like zany remakes, like updating, I guess, the effects and like bringing people back to the theater to see the things they recognize. But for me, like, it was like, Biollante is where I wanted this to go. And so there's a part of me that's like coming to terms on this podcast with like, that's not what the Heisei era is. The Heisei era is kind of just like semi-soft remakes / reboots of films we've already seen in this franchise. And King Ghidorah at least has like all of that insanity going on with it, whereas Mothra just doesn't really. Like it has
Yeah.
the Indiana Jones stuff at the beginning, but then that sort of disappears, and then the rest of it is just kind of bland. It's like the Indiana Jones character is like a good for nothing deadbeat
and like the
dad.
Indiana Jones stuff doesn't feel as like relevant or
No.
because
Not at all.
like the T-1000 had just happened,
Yes.
before King Ghidorah, and Indiana Jones were, I guess Last Crusade was happening at this time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
89.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know,
little
but it
bit.
doesn't
But
feel.
no, I get what you're
fresh.
saying. I get what you're saying, though. It does feel a little bit like, oh, okay, because we, by this point we'd had 3 Indiana Jones movies.
Maybe it was a Romancing the Stone reference.
Oh man, I wish.
Yes, obviously, yes, absolutely. So I get it. This is kind of like if you've got time travel and you've got crazy robots and all that stuff, then having like, oh, this guy is just like in a tomb and the stairs are falling out from beneath him and there's a bridge, a rickety old bridge. It's sort of like, are we doing like exciting Indiana Jones stuff, or is this really just like we got another budget cut and we have to come up with stuff that can work on a budget? So I like it's always fun to see these enemies and these villains, or not really. Mothra's not the villain, Godzilla's the villain, but like the monsters updated to be modern day, quote unquote. But
I'll tell you what I kind of liked about this one, and different from the original Mothra. First off, Mothra's obviously a fan favorite. She's beautiful. She's she's just want to look at her and just awe, and she's cute and she's cuddly.
Should we go, Brad? Do we need to leave?
We've already had our moment, okay? We're on speaking terms.
They got the cigarettes out.
But she's got the Mother Earth element, and she's there to protect humanity. And then you have this Batra character, which I found interesting, because even though it's the battle Mothra, it's not necessarily the darker alter ego Mothra. It kind of is like the Hugo of Bart Simpson sort of thing. You just kind of left him up in the crawl space to kind of rot for a little bit, but he's the protector of the Earth. And so you have the protector of humanity, protector of Earth. The protector of Earth does not care about humanity, does not care about the people, but that's what Mothra is there for. The maternal instincts versus the paternal instincts. The paternal just wants to be like, hey, I got to protect my house. And the maternal wants to protect the people. And I like that dichotomy of it because, again, Godzilla's just coming in there and he's kind of a dick. And, he's just kind of doing what he does. And, yes. But I liked that sort of next level because I thought it was just going to be a simple, I thought it was going to start to be like a team up sort of level of Godzilla and Mothra versus this bad against this bad Mothra, because we've kind of grown accustomed to Godzilla eventually turning into the good guy and teaming up and taking out the bad looking guy. But I liked that this one had a couple more layers to it and giving us that, and then it turns into the two of them kind of sticking together, teaming up, and then dropping Godzilla like the turd he is.
That's what I don't like about it.
So you do you just want Godzilla to be do you like him as the good guy versus the bad guy?
Yeah, of course I do. He's the Earth's protector. He's got
listen, I agree with you. I'm just asking.
Of course. I'm not Shawn. But to me, this movie is like a cover band. Like you can't see the Beatles because they're dead, but you can go watch a cover band and recapture a little bit of what you loved about the Beatles.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works.
Isn't that what I've been saying this whole time, that you've been taking me to task for?
No, I like
these are basically
the
like
entire time you were talking, Shawn, I was like, damn. I feel a lot like Shawn right now.
Finally, yes. One cool thing about it, Akira Takarada came back, who was in the original Godzilla and a few of the other ones, so he's in this. I recognized him and was very excited about that. But yeah, that's actually a really good way to describe it, Brad. I'm so glad we're in agreement on this.
I know that McCartney and Ringo are still around, but the Beatles are dead, guys. So don't send the email to me.
It's true. So this one more than King Ghidorah just feels kind of like, I've got this movie. I can watch that one instead. And it's sweet. The dad and his daughter are
I actually
reunited
think
at
the
the end.
people stuff in this is pretty good.
Uh,
I don't know. The husband-wife thing is.
I'm just saying,
it's fun at the
watchable.
beginning. It's fun at the beginning when they have this kind of like confrontational relationship, and then when he gets a haircut and is
Yeah, but he's
wearing
just
a
kind of a
suit.
weird deadbeat. And you're
Yeah,
like,
he just sort of shows up and is
Yeah,
like,
but I like all
hey,
that.
he calls her
Brad
fat like
likes
3
it.
times in the movie. You're like, oh, buddy, come on.
I'm not saying that's a behavior to model. Okay.
he goes on a journey. It is an emotional journey, and Brad appreciates that the character grows.
This
He
just in, Brad hates the Beatles and fat shaming.
On the latest Godzilla episode.
No.
Yeah, he
love
goes
the
through,
Beatles.
I'm just saying it was a downgrade. He lost the headband. He gives up his grave digging ways. To me, that's not an upgrade. That's a downgrade. And I feel like this movie is doing a disservice by praising
That's strong.
the
A
character.
disservice.
So that's all.
Brad, do you see what you've brought on? Do you see what you've
I'm so
you've elevated
uncomfortable in
his-
this conversation
you really
because
should be.
I feel like mom
I
and
don't
dad
know who
are
I am
fighting,
anymore.
and I'm trying to figure out where I fall in
This
this
is-
battle.
so
Will
I
I
think
go
that-
with dad or will I go with mom after
So
the
what you're
divorce?
saying is this movie
how
really
about
does.
how about you just you just accept that you're gonna have 2 Christmases this year, okay? Just chill out.
That does sound great.
It does sound great. Well, it sounds like you're saying this movie actually touches on something very deeply personal to you, and that the story of the father and the mother reconciling their differences for their daughter is really speaking to you, and really what you want
I'm
to
just
happen
saying I
in
enjoyed
every.
watching their narrative.
Okay, that's all right. That sounds good. So that's all I got to say about this one. That's about it. How many Indiana Jones dime store Indiana Joneses would you give this on a scale from 1 to 5, Brad?
3.
Aaron, how about you?
It's 3-star Indiana James, yeah.
Look at that.
I 2.5. 2.5.
I think
Yeah,
you
it
need
makes
to
perfect
adjust
sense.
how you rate things.
I'm only a half star below you.
I think we all just gave it 3.
I think so.
Moving on to the not at all confusingly titled Godzilla versus
boy.
Mechagodzilla
Oh, boy.
2, which is neither the second Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla film or a sequel to either of those films. It is just Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. Strange movie, but does benefit from the fact that now Mechagodzilla is controlled by a team of are they called G-Force in this one? Is this where the G-Force starts to show up?
Yes, they are.
Is
Wikipedia,
it G-Force?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So G-Force, I think they finally name dropped G-Force.
Yeah, because
This is
the
also-
G Crusher then gets installed in Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yes. So this is again 92 Godzilla versus Mothra, and then this is 93. So they are just really, really bashing these out one after the other. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to remember what happened in this. I don't remember. A lot of these start to run together after a little bit. Was Rodan in this one?
Yes, which
Okay.
is why Aaron's going to hate it. But
Mhm.
Rodan's
He knows it.
great.
He knows it.
And we also get baby Godzilla returns. Manila, but not Manila. They
They said,
refer to
"Hey, let's not make this one look like a garbage pail kid. Let's actually make this one look somewhat
Like-
interesting."
a little bit like Godzilla, just a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
So there
Which,
is
like,
that.
It's weird because I mean it feels like they never like fully pull the trigger on saying it's a baby Godzilla or it's Godzilla, like, because they're like, oh, it was a parasitic egg that melded with. Were they trying to say that it was Godzilla and Rodan's baby? Like,
Dude, I could not for the life of me figure it
it's
out.
really strange. Here's where I finally came down on it. Is I was like, I feel like we're watching like a marital spat. Like Rodan and Godzilla have history, and then Rodan's like, fine, I'm gonna take care of the kid. You're being a bad dad right now. They go off, they fight, they do all their stuff, and then by the end of it, Rodan like sees how good of a father Godzilla's finally being, and she's like, I'm going to give you all my love, and now he's a dad. I don't quite understand it.
I mean, you explained it pretty succinctly.
Did I?
You helped me understand because I
Okay.
barely remember what happened in this movie. I do remember Miki gets something to do. She's piloting Mechagodzilla, so that was fun to see. It was like, great, finally they got a use for her.
She also communicates with whatever the baby is.
Yeah.
Yes.
We should ask her what's going on.
Yeah, so there's that. So that this has that going for it.
Like,
she gave it a name.
There's some like Voltron action with that gunship connecting with Mechagodzilla.
And also for Kazuma, who just happened to be a pterodon enthusiast, he shows up in this movie. You're like, hey, buddy, you're never going to believe this, but guess what we got in this movie? It's a freaking pterodon.
Right. A pterodon enthusiast.
You're never going to believe you're going to lose your mind on this one.
He really lucked out. Like, this is definitely the best week, day, whatever.
Could you imagine if he was a pterodactyl enthusiast and just, oh man, he's like so close.
There's also
so close.
like, they also like there's like a whole G-force, I guess, training program, and I was thinking the whole time, I was like, that would be kind of fun, like a Godzilla course, like that you have to learn about Godzilla and what he does in order for you to pilot this badass Mechagodzilla. Like, how do I sign up for that? Like, where can I would put my name in the hat for that for sure. So these are all wonderful things that this film brings.
I think it's because you hate Godzilla and you want to murder him.
But like, Shawn, like when the Mechagodzilla is on screen, you're watching, right? You're paying attention. You're like, this is cool.
Notes.
Yes. Yeah, I do that. I think, again, Mechagodzilla, what this movie does, unlike Mothra, the Mothra remake requel, is like, this is like, oh, there's a new element to Mechagodzilla. It's that the people are piloting him. So not saying that suddenly makes this great by any means, but I do enjoy that aspect of it. And I do like that Miki gets something to do in this movie. So
question for you guys is, in the true HEISEI sense, is Godzilla the villain in this movie?
I don't think so.
Listen, the scientists come to his island. They steal baby Godzilla. They take it back. The only reason Godzilla comes on land is to go find his baby. Like he's like,
and like the ending of the film with Godzilla and the baby going off, it feels like it's off into the sunset. I feel like, these are heroic figures.
Godzilla did nothing wrong.
That's fair. So this is where, and the Heisei era kind of has this vibe. I think maybe this is the start of it, because you do get it in SpaceGodzilla, and you certainly get it in Destoroyah, where it's like, oh, maybe Godzilla isn't so bad. So at this point in the Heisei era, what I will say to its benefit is that it is kind of nice that we're getting more of a continuity from film to film. Not that that doesn't exist in the Showa era, but here it's a little bit more explicit because we have this returning character, Miki, even though they have like returning actors from previous films playing different characters, so it can get a little confusing. I do like that in a way, we are seeing a growth of the Godzilla character that I do think comes to fruition by the end of the Heisei era.
I feel like I'm looking back at these movies, and apart from Return of Godzilla, I don't know if Godzilla is actually the villain. I think we're trying to paint him as a villain, and if a giant, if a giant plant with the soul of a dead girl trapped inside started speaking to me, I feel like I would attack it too. If a 3-headed devil dragon from the future started attacking me, I think I'd attack back. If I saw Mothra in grub form, I would immediately try to squash it because it is still disgusting and gross and ugly.
I think you can't really say that Godzilla is heroic in the Mothra one.
So you're saying, but listen.
Maybe that was when he got humbled. He got humbled in that one.
Did you see Mothra in grub form again? I can't keep looking at that thing and just being okay with it. She's disgusting. She needs to.
That's bigoted behavior, and we're not about it.
I'm fine with that.
Well, I think maybe, Godzilla was humbled by his battle against Mothra and Batra. Okay. And then in Mechagodzilla 2, we see a little bit like he's matured a bit. He's ready to be a father.
Sometimes being a father does that to you. I agree.
Yeah. So I think we are seeing right now, up to this point in the franchise, the only character that's had any growth is Godzilla, but I'm okay with that. That's what we're here for. So, what is there anything else about this movie?
I think this film is a
Oh,
little dull.
It is dull, and it also introduces the concept of Godzilla having a second brain in his tummy, I think.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Come on. And it's not really his tummy. Great. I mean, they're literally saying he's got a brain in his ass. Like that's just weird.
There you go. But you're right, Brad. Continue along this train of thought.
It's a little dull, but the highs are really high for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good like kaiju smackdown.
Yeah. And so like when that's happening, I'm like invested. I'm here for it. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time.
Fair enough. Anything else you want to add, Aaron?
No.
All right. What are the ratings? Do we want to do pteranodons?
Pteranodon enthusiasts.
Yes. How many pteranodon enthusiasts do you give this, Aaron?
I with the number of kids that I will associate it with the number of kids that I have. 2.5 kids.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I really claim.
I don't know if you've consulted with the church, Aaron, but that half is a full being.
I'm not sure about that one. He's made some mistakes. So,
Brad, how about you?
I have consulted with the church. I am right with the Lord. It's 3 stars.
It's a 2.5 for me. I don't know where I stand with the church at this point. All right, SpaceGodzilla. Godzilla versus SpaceGodzilla sounds way cooler than the movie actually is, but SpaceGodzilla is a badass. That's my review.
I would love to know what the Godzilla fanatics are doing on the other end of this podcast, just screaming like they're creating voodoo dolls of Shawn Eastridge, and they're just jabbing it with blades, not needles, not nails, blades.
My God. Thank you for making that happen, everyone listening. Brad, tell me a little bit about your feelings about SpaceGodzilla.
SpaceGodzilla looks so cool, Shawn.
He does look great. I just said that.
Looks so cool. We get more baby Godzilla in this movie. You know, I'm starting to really come around to like loving the idea of a baby Godzilla. I mean, SpaceGodzilla, like I have an action figure of SpaceGodzilla. It looks really good on the shelf.
Oh, I had one too. It was fantastic. That's, I think, what was most disappointing is having that action figure
the
for so
Star
long.
Falcon in this, right? That's super cool.
Yeah. I had the SpaceGodzilla figure, and I feel like this movie does not live up to what that figure looked like on my shelf. But
makes for Aaron a great Mondo poster.
Yes, Aaron, you're agreeing? How do you feel about SpaceGodzilla?
I'm not necessarily agreeing. I mean, Brad said that that SpaceGodzilla, which is the lamest name in the Godzilla universe, that he looked cool. I would like to rebuttal that he could have looked a lot cooler, because I mean they talk about that. The reason that he looks like this, or that he came down or whatever, is because he got G cells, and there were 2 instances that the G cells, I guess, went into space. It was Biollante, and it was
Mothra.
I guess G cells that got onto Mothra when Mothra went into space. I don't know, that the whole thing. Listen, if you were as cool looking as Biollante and you got your G cells into space and mixed it up with Godzilla and then mixed it up with space crystals and whatnot, you would look so much cooler than Godzilla with like a really cool backpack and some big old shoulder pads. Like, come on,
I'm okay with SpaceGodzilla. I think he looks
fine,
cool.
but he looks like they just had a leftover Godzilla costume from the last
that
one,
is
and
true.
they said, and they're like, oh, let's shoulder pads and a backpack, let's put it on. You know, I think it's a bit lazy. I think if you got some Biollante DNA in you go full like crazy and make him like a really weird, goop monster from space.
I mean, he looks a little bit like Elizabeth Shue in Adventures in Babysitting. Like she got the broad shoulders, right?
What a Paul.
and it is like an easy attachment. You know, Elizabeth Shue, very tiny hourglass shape, but then she puts on that coat,
Yeah.
and then it's
Yeah.
like a linebacker, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
an attachment. It's it's an effective attachment.
Mhm.
This is the downside of, like, again, 92, 93, 94. We are getting one right after the other, and they had to throw something together real quickly. And I think they thought Mechagodzilla 2 was going to be the last Godzilla movie as well, but then it did so well that they decided that's not going to happen. We're going to keep making them. So I think maybe just the rush and all that. Look, I like Space Godzilla. Is that all right? I feel
Yeah.
like I'm on
You're
You're
an
gonna like
island.
one of these movies.
I didn't say I liked the movie. I like Space Godzilla. I don't know about the movie itself, but I do like the design a lot. I don't have any issues with
I
it.
mean, if you look
Aaron.
at the early concept art for Space Godzilla, it's way cooler. You know, like
Wasn't it? Well, it was supposed to be like an ice monster.
yeah,
like
yeah.
was gonna
It looks
combat-
very Bernie Wrightson. I'm a big fan of these designs, and I'm sure it would have looked absolutely killer if they could afford it. But again, I think Space Godzilla just looks rad. I like that backpack.
I'm reading on Wikipedia that it says, well, didn't he? No, I guess he didn't. But Akira Ifukube, I will say that name right someday. He said it said he refused to be involved in Godzilla versus Space Godzilla after reading the script, which reminded him too much of a teen idol film and included rap music. Did I miss something?
Did it have rap music?
I don't think it did. I don't remember any of this in this movie. Like, did I miss something?
I don't.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
doesn't quite compute.
Yeah, so let's just put that out there. I saw that and had to say it, and I don't remember.
Also,
what else I
was there
going to
brief
say.
nudity? I'm looking at the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was
I don't
the
remember that
dude
either.
showering. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
On the
That's
island,
right.
like you
Yeah,
just see
yeah.
a big old
Yep.
butt in view.
Yep. Yep.
Big
I
ol'
don't think
butt.
of butts
Big ol'
as
butts.
nude.
Yeah, it's just a booty.
Yeah,
All
this
right,
is a
then
booty.
let your freak flag.
Let your booty fly. Let the
Yeah,
booty
get that out
fly.
there.
Let your freak.
Can we
Wait,
talk
is this-
about what was the mech Moguera or something? What was it?
Yes,
I
yeah.
cannot pronounce it. That's why I have not brought it up.
Magera.
Yeah, something like
Magera.
that. The
It's a
birthing kits were a little
reference
too
to.
wide.
It's a reference to the Mysterians, which was Ishiro Honda.
Yeah,
Honda
it was an old
movie.
Honda like thing, and it looked even dumber back then. And they didn't really update it all too well, so it didn't work for me.
And was it this or was it Mechagodzilla 2? Some of these just run together. I literally just watched this a couple days ago, and I have trouble remembering which one is
This
which.
is your
But
podcast,
is this the one
man.
with the? Is this the one with the angry pilot who's like, I have to kill Godzilla, but then in the end he's like, oh, Godzilla's not so bad. He's a pretty cool guy. Is that this one or
yes.
the last one?
No, this is this one.
Okay.
Yeah, where the guy's like, I need to shoot this guy in the armpit. Like,
Yeah, he
the
killed
entire
Godzilla.
movie.
Killed my friend or my
Yeah.
brother or somebody related to me, and
Yeah,
I
which
had to
we've kind
get
of gone
revenge.
through with a couple other movies before, where it's like, Godzilla,
Yes.
killed my brother. You prepare to die, sort of thing.
Yes,
Godzilla
but then you
versus-
learn to
or
love
Godzilla
him. You're
minus
like,
one.
yes, yeah.
that
So
too.
by the end, you're kind of like, okay, but then he learns to love God. How he learned to stop worrying and love Godzilla is what the subtitle for this film should have been.
The big bonus I will say about this movie is, we got Baby Godzilla in the last one. Baby Godzilla in this one gets a cuteness overload. Like it,
Mhm.
Full Pokemon, big old
Yeah,
eyes.
yes, the big old eyes.
Yeah, just cuteness overload. Looks nothing like Godzilla. You're like, how are you going to get to that next level? Like, how are you going to?
Where are the Baby Godzilla action figures? Is
I'm
what
sure
I'm saying.
in Brad's house. I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we're
I
gonna have to
don't
raid
have
Brad's
any
house.
little Godzilla action figures. Nope. Mine are all big.
Adult
Adult.
space
They're all
space
adult.
Godzilla grown up
No kids in Brad's house.
super
I am child-free.
badass. It's true.
And we're keeping it that way.
Correct.
So we've got references to Ishiro Honda movies.
Mhm.
Akira Ifukube is not coming back
Whoa,
because rap music.
Right. I forgot. Like the thing is, like it also just feels like quite long. Like it just kind of keeps on going and doing things that aren't really necessary. There's like a 20-minute Yakuza subplot where Miki gets like kidnapped.
Oh, that's right.
And for no reason other than for her to all of a sudden have telekinetic powers.
Yes, and she lifts the bed,
She
doesn't
lifts the
she?
bed.
Like
Yeah.
she lifts the bed so the hero can shoot. That's right. Like the guy falls in love with her, and he says like the world without love is not a world. What is the quote? It's like a
I don't
very
know. I wish he
like
would have gotten shot in the foot
oh
too.
life would be sad without love, and they love each other, and then he is gone by the next.
Gone by the next
film.
one. Good
Yes.
good job, Miki. You pick him right.
You know how to pick them.
Yeah.
But I also love they do try to tie it all back together with the, we have to get the message in there. These are message movies about like humans are destroying the world. But this one is, if we keep putting things into outer space, if we use outer space to dump our trash, it's going to come back as SpaceGodzilla and kill us. That's the lesson of the movie. They say if we keep polluting the universe, more monsters will come attack us. So yeah, at least they tried to bring in the environmental messaging. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Anything else? Brad, you're suspiciously quiet.
I mean, let's just go. Come on.
All right. How many space crystals would you give SpaceGodzilla?
2.
2.
2. All right.
2 across there we go. Now we're
go.
cooking. We are cooking with gas. So
with geodes.
We I have to say the Heisei era at this point, I remembered enjoying it a lot more than I did. I don't enjoy the Heisei era as much as I recall.
There's still one more film, Shawn.
I know. I'm building to it.
Okay.
Brad,
There
just
we
let
go.
me build,
I knew it was
build
coming.
the suspense.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I
What
was
a
at this
terrible podcast mate.
up to this point. A lot of the complaints I've made, like, oh, why couldn't we have had more stuff like Biollante? Why are these just kind of soft retreads of movies we've seen before? Feeling a little disappointed, a little bummed, but like I knew we were going to end on a high note because I remembered having a lot of affection for Godzilla versus Destoroyah, which is really, it's painted as like the final Godzilla movie. It's the final Heisei movie, but it could also be the final Godzilla movie ever. And it's also amazing. I love Godzilla versus Destoroyah so much. But see, we're ending on a high note. Not only does the Heisei era end on a high note, this episode will end on a high note. Brad, talk to us about Godzilla versus Destoroyah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's so good. We begin with Godzilla. He's having a little bit of a health crisis. His heart is melting down.
Yes,
he's breaking out in rashes. He looks terrible.
By terrible, you mean he looks amazing.
Yeah, he looks so good.
What
he
a
looks
great
so
design.
It's pretty killer.
He looks badass.
And then we get all these mutated crabs that are the result of the oxygen destroyer from the original Godzilla film.
What a callback.
And they form into Destoroyah, which is such a gnarly looking kaiju. This
like
is
literally
what I'm talking about.
The actual Satan of kaiju.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's here to tear Godzilla a new one. I love so much that this so Return of Godzilla was basically like, let's ignore all the Showa era and pretend this is a direct sequel. But like Destoroyah does it so much better. It does it so much better with the callbacks. You've got what's her name from the original film coming back, reprising her role. You've got the oxygen destroyer bringing that back in actual kaiju form to be like the ultimate baddie for Godzilla. I love that stuff. This feels like a natural conclusion to 1954 Godzilla, to the point where I kind of pretend this is not only the end of Heisei, but like the end of the character. Like this could be the finale, really. It can function as the finale as well. But sorry, Aaron, you talk a little bit about Destoroyah.
I mean, you guys said it all. It's a great like cyclical storytelling that I agree with you. It does better than what Return of Godzilla was trying to do. I think maybe it's a little bit easier when you're trying to put, kind of like, an end point, a period, an exclamation point at the end of this, instead of, trying to pick up where you left off. But there's still something completely satisfying about this type of movie that's both kind of reverential and emotional, but also like you said, Destoroyah is just a kick-ass kaiju, and it's just another great freak of the week that you get to watch, in a great, end battle. But there's stakes in this movie that I think
Yes.
that a lot of the other Godzilla movies don't really have, especially the ones leading up through the Heisei era. Like, I mean, Shawn will disagree with me, but the Futurians cannot get away with what they're getting away with, so we have to stop them. But there's other things with Mothra and Space Godzilla where you don't really feel like it's like there's a lot. You're just kind of watching them flail around
Well,
and
it's
like
like par for the
hoping.
course for the most part. It's just
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
oh,
exactly.
Godzilla's got to
Oh,
fight the monster.
thrash. But like knowing that Godzilla is now in nuclear meltdown mode, and if he gets destroyed, it could be the end of the world. And it's really fantastic and a lot of fun. And I can't say enough about this one. This is elite level Godzilla right here.
This one feels very forward looking. Like it doesn't feel like it's trying to replicate anything from the franchise. This feels like it's Godzilla of the now being the mid 90s.
Yes. It is. And it's also, there's this, you're absolutely right. It's the stakes involved. There is also a sense of like, we know where this is going. It's not just like, it's another episode of Godzilla. Let's do, it's the stuff we've seen before. This is no, you've never seen this before. You've never seen us kill Godzilla for real. Like, in the first movie, they kill Godzilla, but obviously he keeps coming back over and over. But this is the one where they're like, this is going to be the final one. And they give it the emotional weight it needs. Like, the movie is very, for all the ridiculousness of some of the very aliens inspired stuff on the ground with the mini Destoroyahs, it's very somber. Like, there is this emotional there is an emotional through line that kind of grips you. Like, I was surprised, after being so dismissive of the previous entries, how emotional I felt watching it and how attached I felt to this iteration of Godzilla, but also like the characters like Miki, who is the only one that is recurring from the previous films, but you do really feel connected to her. You do really feel it when she says at the end, like, my time with Godzilla is done, or like, my journey is done. Like, it feels like that, and it carries emotional weight and significance, and it doesn't feel empty. It feels earned in a way that is very, very satisfying and very moving. Like, it was very
well. Shawn, if I could real quick, just read my professional letterboxd review for you real quick.
Have I liked that one yet?
Go like
I'm
it.
checking. Wait. Yes, you have.
Excellent.
So would you like to read it, or is this one of your like?
No, I don't.
He's got it. He's got it bookmarked.
No, I know this. Anyways, Roar of Sadness is one of the most heartbreaking scores ever written. Please play this at my funeral. That's all there is to it. Yeah, I mean, there's some. It's so much fun, and like you said, Destoroyah is just a really fantastic villain, and to start him out as those little like mini aliens, and then evolving into the big giant, queen alien looking one. But the emotional, like, kind of roller coaster of baby Godzilla coming in, and again reverting back to now looking like Godzilla instead of like a Pokemon, was another trip. But yeah.
Well, there's also there is the level of the humans feel involved in a way that is more satisfying. And Miki, like, there's a really dark, like, tragic element to the kind of culmination of her relationship with Godzilla Jr., where she manipulates him into his death because it's necessary to save Japan and the world. And like, kind of Junior's acceptance of that. Like, it's all very like dark, and it's a very sad movie. Like, you're right, it is fun, and it's exciting in a way not many of the Heisei era films have been, like genuinely thrilling. But it's like there's a darkness to it, like when Junior gets like brutally not destroyed but like killed, like you feel that. And when Godzilla is like mourning his dead son, it's like, this is for them being like, oh, Biollante, we went too far. Destoroyah really amps things up a lot.
Yeah.
It does not feel like they were remotely concerned about like, are kids gonna want to come see this? Like, how's the demographic? Like, they are just kind of like, you know what, let's just put everything we've got into this and really crank this up to the maximum. And
Yeah.
it works for me on many levels. It works for me.
I also like the idea of again, them kind of coming back around to the original, and with the atomic bomb, it was something. It was death that created this life, and then with within the movie, it was the oxygen destroyer, and it was this death that killed Godzilla or whatever. But then it also created this life that they found again. So it's kind of like these ideas of man never able to fully create or manipulate life like it wants to. It cannot control it. In the words of another wise scientist, life finds a way. And there's something really kind of cool with that.
I think it was Major Spielberg who
Major
said that.
Spielberg. Yeah, that is the guy that said that. I also want to bring up one thing because there was a line in the movie that I'm not sure I picked up on the first time, where they said the first Godzilla was killed 40 years ago, when they're talking about the oxygen destroyer. Was this the first time that they had referenced that there was a different Godzilla? It was the reporter girl talking to I think maybe the scientist. I can't remember who she was talking to, but she said first Godzilla was killed 40 years ago. Do we think that's part of the canon, that this is a separate Godzilla, or?
I think that's what they're implying, like, because they show like it's like this thing destroyed him, and then it's another one. And again, when you start to look at the the narrative arc and looking at King Ghidorah and saying, wait, which Godzilla is this that they're destroyed? Like, is there another
true.
Godzilla? If they kill this one back in time, does that you have to just kind of go with it. But I think what they are implying in this is that this is a different Godzilla. It's spawned by the same process, but the 1954 Godzilla was its own thing.
Yeah. Do you think Oppenheimer, when he was talking to Einstein, this is what he imagined?
100%.
The chain of events. Yeah,
I think so. This is what he was imagining. This was what it was all leading to in the end.
Yeah.
So yeah.
When I
Brad,
was originally thinking about the ending of this movie, I was going to like refer to it as bittersweet, but it's not really bittersweet. I mean, it's really just kind of bitter.
Yes, there's like a little teaser, like where it's like, oh, Godzilla, like, but it's not like Godzilla survived. It's more of the spirit of Godzilla lives on, and of course, like we get more Godzilla movies,
but to what effect?
Yeah. But there is, I did see it as almost kind of like a bit of hope, because the whole thing is like, they talk about, the temperature's going down, and then they zoom in on, again, that amazing fog work that the effects guys are just killing it with, and you zoom in and you see that silhouette, and he's just like it's kind of like that silent roar that's in the background, and you get the feeling that it's baby Godzilla that has sacrificed himself. He is now taking the burden of being this walking nuclear reactor in order to save humanity,
Yes.
and then
it's also like it is a realization of this character. Godzilla is a character that has now, through the course of these films, gone on an emotional journey to go from being just this pure destructive force to like the savior of Japan. And I think that's why this film feels tragic on a couple levels. First, like, we have a Godzilla that is essentially fighting for its life and dying and being destroyed from the inside, but is fighting to defend Japan, whether it knows it or not. But also, like, none of this is his fault. Like, he is our creation. It's our, like, the tragedy comes from like, humanity spawned this creature that is now being destroyed because of something it can't control in the slightest. So on many levels, it's like Godzilla's finally become the hero just in time for him to be destroyed. And it really is like, I think I'd forgotten how much of it really is a gut punch. Like it is, for films that like, yeah, the effects are a little dated and some of it is a little hokey. And yes, we're ripping off James Cameron here. And certainly like there are things to poke at. But for the most part, I think this is a really effective film overall. And certainly one of the mandatory watches for this franchise as a whole.
Agreed.
Brad, any final thoughts?
No, you said it all.
I think it's a fantastic film, probably the best of the Heisei era. Actually, yes, it is the best of it. I'm just going to say it.
I won't say until you've asked me what my rating is.
Well, let's go ahead and do our ratings. What is this? Like, I feel like this one needs something. How many crying Godzillas do we give it?
Oh, how about crying errands? Goodness.
Yeah, crying. Yeah, I was like, you and me both, big guy. How many crying Aaron / Godzillas do you give this one?
I'm giving it 4 solid teardrops.
Brad, how about you?
4 as well.
I will give it 4 across the board, ending on a high note. And then I guess, do we want to rank that? We can rank the Heisei. I feel like that's an easy.
Yeah,
list.
Heisei's easy. Heisei's easy.
Let's do this. Let's say Heisei, and then let's say top 5 including Showa. At just Showa and Heisei.
Okay.
Can we do that? Just to keep keep it easy because there's so many movies in here. It's not something where we could just be like, yeah, let's rank the 5 Indiana Jones movies.
Let me pull the list up. Hold on.
We still gotta pull the list. Well, let me just kick it off because I think I can do this. No, I'm going to Letterboxd as well. Well, I already revealed that Destoroyah is my favorite of the bunch, which is 100% the case. So,
and I think we can all say that, right? This is the only one where we all gave it 4 stars.
Yes,
or 4 teardrops. Sorry,
hold on.
Nobody rated anything 4.
I gave 4 stars to King Ghidorah. Yes, I did.
That's right.
Did you?
But we all agreed on the one before this too, didn't we?
Yes,
we gave SpaceGodzilla 2 stars.
Yeah, but we didn't give it 4.
We didn't give it 4.
2.
This is 4 stars. So so here is my Heisei ranking. It goes Destoroyah, Biollante, and then I'm looking at a full ranking. Then King Ghidorah, then Mothra, then Mechagodzilla 2, then Return of Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
And then SpaceGodzilla.
Okay. I thought we were going to have a very similar list.
Brad loves that backpack.
Brad, what's yours?
I like that backpack. I'm going Godzilla vs. Destoroyah, Biollante, King Ghidorah, Mothra. King Ghidorah. Yeah. King Ghidorah, Mothra, Mechagodzilla 2, SpaceGodzilla, then Return of Godzilla.
It could be that maybe I'll change it just so ours are identical because I don't particularly like Return of Godzilla. I can't say I really do. Like, I'm not going to fight for that to be like, yeah, it's higher.
I don't hate either Return of Godzilla or Godzilla versus SpaceGodzilla. They're just not the movies I'm going to watch anytime soon again.
No, I wouldn't, and not high on any recommended must-watch Godzilla movies. Aaron, what's your Heisei ranking?
Listen, I want to put Destoroyah first. I want to join you guys in harmony. There's something just so goofy, fun, and everything about King Ghidorah that I have to put him first.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I'm going that. I'm going Destoroyah. I'm going Biollante. And then I'm going literally just throw the rest into a blender. And I don't care. I don't want to throw them in the trash, but they don't mean really anything. Like, I have fun with portions of them, but I could go with I could create my own supercut of these movies, and I think I could make a great Godzilla film.
Okay, awesome. Do we want to do top 5, top 10 Godzilla movies so far? What do you think? I'm gonna do just of Showa and Heisei, my ranking, my top 5 ranking, just those ones. I'm excluding anything we have not yet watched.
Okay.
I would say it goes Godzilla, the original Godzilla is number 1, then Destoroyah, then Biollante, then Ghidorah, the 3-headed monster, and then the original Mothra versus Godzilla. That's my top 5 so far.
All right. I am going to go, OG Godzilla. Then I'm going to go Ghidorah. Then I'm going to go Invasion of Astro Monster.
Oh.
Then Mothra versus Godzilla. Then Ghidorah, the three-headed monster.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to go OG Godzilla. I'm going to go Godzilla King Ghidorah. The 92? 1?
92. Yeah.
And then I'm going to go Destoroyah. Then Mothra Godzilla from 64? 63? 64. And then Godzilla Ghidorah.
Nice. I feel like Ghidorah I feel like should be higher on my list. This ranking needs a revival.
I mean, Megalon for the Jet Jaguar. I know you guys are haters of Jet Jaguar, but
I love Jet Jaguar. I don't like the movie except for the final 20 minutes. The battle is the best.
Whatever.
Brad's just gonna go fiddle with his Space Godzilla figure in the
corner.
Like
the next Franchyze Boiz episode is just going to be the Roland Emmerich film.
I mean,
for 2 hours. Yes.
I think 2 hours of us discussing Roland Emmerich. I think we should do. There are a couple options. We could include it. We could bundle it in with the Millennium Era, or we could do just Millennium and then do the American.
I think
Godzilla
that's the way to go. Is Millennium and then it's Godzilla 98 plus Legendary.
And then we treat Godzilla 98 like 3 Mile Island and just include that into the context of Godzilla Millennium.
Exactly.
Okay.
That is the plan. And yes, it will. I swear to the heavens above, to Mothra and all other beasts, that this is going to happen within the year.
Okay, because August is almost done, man.
You're right. We got to do it. So it's going to happen. But this has been great as always. Thank you guys for being here. And Aaron, tell the good people at home where they can find you on the internet.
You can find me at A Cool Hand Fluke. Not really doing much on the socials. I write lots of letterbox reviews, and Brad pretends to like them. But you can find me on.
I don't pretend to like them. I hit the like button.
Yes.
Listen, I'm talking metaphorically, spiritually, but never emotionally. I feel those empty likes is what I'm saying. But yeah, you can find me at A Cool Hand Fluke somewhere. I'll talk back.
And Brad, how about you?
There's like 16 more Godzilla films.
Yeah. I mean, are we counting the animated ones? Because
I gotta watch those. I haven't watched them yet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No. Okay. You can find me on most social medias at Mouthdork. You can, of course, follow everything comic book related with my other podcast, Comic Book Couples Counseling, that I do with my lovely wife, Lisa. We just got back from San Diego Comic-Con. We conducted 11 interviews, and we're turning those 11 interviews into a half dozen episodes. Our latest episode is a conversation with Ram V about the New God series from DC Comics. But we've also recently talked to Tom King and Daniel Sampere about Wonder Woman, Junie Ba about the new Ninja Turtle series, Night Watcher. A lot of cool stuff over there if you like comics. And by the way, if we were going to include Godzilla comics into a Franchyze Boiz conversation, Godzilla versus Charles Barkley is at the top.
Heck yeah.
Yes, that goes without saying. And you can find me at YayShawnDoorman on Twitter and ShawnDoorman05 on Letterboxd. Thank you, Franchyze Boiz. Always a pleasure. This will continue. Don't you worry. And we will see all of you at the movies.